Hi, everybody. It's funny. I guess I come out all the time because I do like supposedly straight shows. Straight people have such like a dumb idea of what a lesbian is that like unless you're presenting as super gay, they're not like they just don't get it. They're like, oh yeah, she's just kind of like she just gave up. She's a straight woman who gave up. Like no, I'm actually a not that bad looking lesbian. Okay. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Shawn Hollenbach, and welcome to Closet Cases, the show where LGBTQ comedians and performers tell their coming out and transitioning stories live on stage, and they go deeper into a podcast. Today we have Claudia Cogan. You know her from Wyatt's NX Night Train on Stars, and is winner of Time Out New York's Joke of the Year. She's hilarious. Take a listen.
And so I guess I come out in that way, in that there's this like kind of segregation in comedy. So I'm always happy to do straight shows and be like, fuck you, I'm a lesbian, and I'm on your show, and you're gonna watch me, and you can't ignore me for 8 to 10 minutes unless you go to the bathroom. I mean, I don't know, I can't control that. Like I can't like sit on you. I don't know. Wouldn't that be nice if you could sit on some of the audience? Anyway.
Claudia, welcome to the podcast. How's it going?
It's going so good.
I loved your set at Stonewall. You're so great. I mean, you kill it every time, so thank you.
I had a great time. It's a great show. Tons of fun.
Tons of fun. Well, you've been doing comedy for a very long time, and what you discussed in your open, do you think that there's been a change in sort of having more diverse voices in comedy, more LGBT, more queer voices?
Definitely many more LGBTQ people doing shows. It's kind of interesting what's happening right now is I feel like there's a lot of like queer comedy. Like people are like, it used to be gay comedy or lesbian comedy, but now it's like queer is kind of like almost like this next new generation of like kids who are like, you know, I'm queer, and that encompasses so much more.
Yeah.
I think I call myself queer, but I'm also like, I feel like to them, I'm like a little bit of like old school lesbian, you know? And so, which I have no problem with. I love old school lesbians. I would like to be one for as long as I can. But yeah, I think like, so there's a lot of queer comedy and like you now go to shows and it isn't that unexpected to see a comic who isn't straight. And isn't necessarily cis either. Like, you know, like that's now, you know, like you are welcome, you know, like there's been all these changes. Like, you know, like there are times, like when I started, I really was like oftentimes not just the only woman, but like also the only gay woman on a show. And you have to be like, you just have to take a lot of shit. You know, and it's not really the audience. The audience has always been nice to me. It's really the other comics that have like come at me or like shunned me or like said some kind of just like disgusting or mean thing to me like after my set. You know, like I had a comedian who like I didn't even talk about being gay and in this whole set, and this guy got on stage after me and he was like, Claudia Cogan, lesbo. Yeah.
That's the punchline, is that you're a lesbian?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was really, and it was funny because he was like so dismissive of me that he was standing in the back of the room not watching my set. So he didn't know that I didn't come out during my set. So the audience was just like, who's this guy like using hate speech against the last comic who we thought was okay, you know, like. So he really he bombed on that. So I was really happy about that.
Do you think also the bookers have changed? Because I remember back in the day, they'd be like, I got my woman, I got my black guy, and I got my gay guy. And then everyone else is white. Do you feel bookers have changed their booking practices?
Yeah, they know they can't get away with that anymore. Like, even if that's what they want to book, you know, like they know like people are going to notice. It's going to get like Facebook posts. It's going to get like a vague book post, you know. There's going to be someone is recording it, and they know they're being watched, which is good. They should be nervous.
Absolutely. Well, good for them. Listen, bookers, if you're not booking a diverse lineup, get your act together.
Yeah, and then you hear these like, I don't know if you've experienced this, like every now and then, like I'll be at like a table full of comics and like white guys are like, like I could tell that they want to be supportive, but then like one guy was like talking about how he didn't get on some storytelling show on Comedy Central, and he was like, well, my agent was like, well, they didn't want another straight white guy, and I was like, to myself, I was like, well, they still booked plenty of straight white guys. They just didn't want you.
Wait, do you remember a long time ago, I got in a Facebook fight with a comedian who was booking a show called the White Guy Storytelling Show?
Oh, no, I don't remember that.
And then his response was, Shawn, don't be an angry gay. Because back in the day, you used to have to sort of book what they called niche comedy shows where you're trying to appeal to audiences who just don't want to hear white guys tell dick jokes.
Yeah.
And I get in a huge fight with this person. I'm not going to say who it is.
Oh,
but
you have to tell me after,
I will
right?
tell you afterwards. And if you guys DM me on Twitter, I'll tell you.
He won't hold back.
I won't. Not at all.
I started to realize that I was a lesbian, I guess when I was like, 13, like the usual age. Like, I remember I started to know that I was like, I could tell that like I wasn't interested in boys the way my friends were. Like, they all wanted to keep seeing movies with Emilio Estevez, and I was like, come on, guys, don't we have better shit to do, And then like they all like Joe on Facts of Life, and I was like, I am Joe. Give me Blair. Like I was so into her, and I had no idea. I would just like gaze at her, and double meaning gaze, I guess, and. So I was very into her, and I had no idea.
So wow, Blair Warner, she gave you your sexual awakening.
You know what it was? I don't know if it was sexual, but I just like would stare at her, and I think it makes sense because I rewatched The Facts of Life, and it's not a very good show.
It's not. It really is terrible.
It's a terrible show. It's the corniest thing I've ever seen, but I really was entranced by her. Like, she just had this long, like, magical princess hair, and she was rich. Oh my God, I wanted to be rich so badly. So it was like a weird combination of wanting to be her and like wanting to like hold her hand and look at her a lot.
So it's like a idolatry type of thing.
Yeah.
But I liked when you said you felt like you were Joe. Did you?
Yeah.
Did you sort of see Joe as a queer character?
No. I'll tell you something. I hated Joe, and I think it's because I identified with her. Like, I think I recognize a lot of myself in her. Like, the best I could do for hairstyling was a ponytail with two barrettes. No one gave me a hair dryer or like a curling iron. I was very, like, I was a little tomboy, and I wore and that's like the way Joe behaved is what people expected of me, I think. Like, to be tough, but I was like, I felt like, this is weird. I felt very feminine as a kid, and I felt like I was like put in this like Joe mold.
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
Who is your Natalie and Tootie?
Who are my Natalie and Tootie? Wouldn't it be weird? Are there people out there who like have watched that show and they're like, yeah, I totally identify with Mrs. Garrett,
Girls.
or the principal, Like, there's so much to find in there for like girls, but like it really was sort of like I said, it was corny.
It was our Sex in the City of the day.
Yeah.
It really was,
Natalie is the Miranda.
Natalie's the Miranda because she's sort of the curmudgeon a bit.
Curmudgeon. She's like the wisest. She's like the wisecracking. She's like the voice of reason, but she's also goofy. Maybe she's not anything.
Maybe it's a really bad comparison.
You know what? I don't think it fits.
Let's scratch that.
Yeah.
But I do want to play a game with you. Do you want to play a game?
Yes, I'd love to.
Okay, I want to play a game called Queer or Sneer.
Oh my God, I love playing games that are not on my phone. So let's hear it for Queer or Sneer.
Yeah. So this is a game where I talk about characters who are perceived as gay before Will and Grace. You say if you think it was a good representation, queer, and if it was a bad representation, sneer.
Okay.
Okay, so you ready for number 1? Cagney and Lacey of Cagney and Lacey.
Cagney and Lacey, definitely queer. Definitely a good representation.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, the only frustrating part is they had to pretend that they were married to men.
With terrible.
Yeah. But they were in charge of their careers. They had a lot of good looks. I don't know if you remember, they had good outfits. I wanted to dress like a career woman when I grew up, and that was it. They were role models.
Were you a Cagney or a Lacey?
I think I was definitely Tyne Daly, so I don't know which one is Cagney or Lacey, but that one.
Well, she's amazing, so I think it's a good answer. All right, so number 2 is Uncle Arthur from Bewitched.
Uncle Arthur from Bewitched is definitely... Oh, no. I mean, I don't want to ever portray somebody who is secretly gay on TV as bad, but kind of a sneer.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because he was kind of like a villain a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still amazing. I still loved him.
Yeah. Well, he was,
I liked him better as Center Square. Not Hollywood Squares. Paul Lynde.
Paul Lynde. Okay, that... I have to admit, my Bewitched memories are not that formed. I remember mostly like the mother who would
Agnes
come in.
Moorehead.
Agnes Moorehead.
Yeah, I think she was a lesbian, wasn't she?
Oh God, I hope so.
We'll check that. We'll fact check that one, Claudia. Number 3, Roseanne Connor on Roseanne.
Okay, old show, queer, new show, Sneer.
Agreed.
Thank
Agreed.
you.
Oh, gets a square. Okay. Number 4, Jack Tripper on Three's Company.
Oh, okay, Sneer.
Yes.
So Sneer.
Such a sneer. He's like, yeah, trying to have sex with 2 ladies.
Yeah, but then when he had to gay it up in front of Mr. Furley, like total nightmare.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Number 5, Peppermint Patty from Peanuts.
Oh, of course. She's totally queer.
Yeah.
What I love about Charles Schultz doing that is, like, she was clearly, like, you're probably only allowed to be fully gay when you're a kid because nobody's, like, really assigning it to anything sexual.
Right.
So you can be, like, on the phone all day with your friend Marcy and wearing sandals. Or, like, what is she wearing? Birkenstocks?
Yeah, yeah.
You know? Like, she's, like, very, like, 60s lesbian look.
Yeah, I think that's an amazing representation.
Yeah.
Thanks, Charles Schultz.
Thank you, Charles Schultz.
Yes. Number 6, Mr. Belvedere from Mr. Belvedere.
Mr. Belvedere is so queer, but the fact that he was like this celibate, like person, like there to serve heterosexuals, that's a sneer.
That is a sneer. Yes. Very good.
Thank you. I feel I'm getting everything right.
You are. Jan Brady from the Brady Bunch.
Jan Brady. Well, if she was queer, she'd be a sneer.
Yes.
Because what do you think? She's...
Well, I feel like she's a little needy. She's not really into her own personality. I think she's trying to find herself in the worst type of way.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, and she's trying to, like, undermine Marcia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, sneer.
Sneer.
Sneer. We have Monroe from Too Close for Comfort.
Oh, Monroe. Oh, Monroe. Oh, God. Jim J. Bullock.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Sneer, I guess.
Yeah, because he was never out, but then he had that weird scene where the girls tried to make out with him for some reason.
Uh-huh.
And he turned them down.
Yeah.
But I don't think he ever self-actualized as a gay man in the show. In San Francisco.
That's right. Oh, my God.
All right, last one.
They should call that show Doll House. Thank you.
Talk about painted ladies. All right. So the last one is R2-D2 and C-3PO.
They are so queer.
Yeah.
They're so queer. It's like, I don't know, like, I don't want to sneer at them, but I think maybe because they're closeted and the really gay seeming one with the voice was so, like, mean sometimes.
So they had an abusive relationship.
A little, yeah.
He used to snap back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then that would be a sneer then.
I guess so. Like, representing as a gay robot as only programmable as bitchy.
Right.
It's a stereotype of gay robots.
Yeah. Swishy gay androids.
Yeah.
Sneer.
Yeah.
Well, Claudia, thank you for playing Queer Sneer.
I hope I did okay. Thank you.
And you win nothing except for the love and adoration of everyone listening to this podcast.
Oh my God. You can still Venmo me if you want.
So let's talk about Emilio Estevez. Did you sort of avoid the conversation with your friends when they were talking about boys, or did you sort of join in and sort of fake it a bit?
I did fake it. I can't lie. I just felt like if I talked about one celebrity enough, and this is so funny because the celebrity I chose is the same one as Rosie O'Donnell.
What? Tom Cruise?
Yeah. I made a big show of trying to buy my friend's sister's Tom Cruise poster from her.
Wow.
Yeah, because I was like, I love that poster so much. So I was known as this Tom Cruise junkie.
Who knew that he was such lesbian candy?
And I didn't even put it together till now that Rosie O'Donnell was then going to do this on her show later. We had this in common.
Wow. Now, did you have boyfriends in school?
Not really, no. I think I made out with a skinhead when I was 14. A friend of mine she was into punk and skinhead stuff, and I don't know. I know there's probably skinheads out there who are like, what the fuck? You know, can you please appropriately label us? We're not punks. But yeah, I made out with this guy. I was 14. It was on a playground. And I just remember it just involved me ejecting saliva out of my mouth. That was kissing.
Wow.
It was so disgusting.
Well, Claudia, I think everyone wants to kiss you now.
Aw. I've learned now how to keep most of it in my mouth.
We need to have a little escape.
Yeah.
That's okay.
So the first crush that I had, I think, was the one that I had a component of whoa, tingles, was my biology teacher, which I was so angry at myself because she was the meanest person. But she had she was really attractive, but she would make fun of me, and I'd be like, all right, just keep talking to me. You know, she'd be yelling at me, but I'd be like, this is good. And anyway, so I can't remember her name, but that was when I first started to realize, I was like, this is not going away, because I kind of pretended I didn't have these feelings. And the thing is, I pretended I didn't have these feelings for years and years, through college, guys. That's when you're so... Well, I know. Thank you. I don't know how I did. I lived at home too, so that didn't help. That was a real monastery situation, and not in the good way. I really would have probably been happier at a female monastery. I would have been. I would have had way more that would have been fun. But I was in a monastery basically, and I remember I graduated. I was 22 years old. And the thing is, I had in college attempted to come out by going to a coming out group at this place that I don't think exists anymore called Identity House. And so I went there, and I remember I walked in and I was shaking, and I was like, I'm finally gonna live my destiny. And I go to this coming out group, and the meeting starts with a woman who leads the group who said, this is the first thing she says. She's like, hello, welcome to the group. I just want to start this meeting with, I just want to get my feelings out of the way. I really resent younger lesbians because they have an easier time coming out than I did. And I'm just and I was just oh no. So I did eventually go back to the group, and I messed up, and I went on a date with someone in the group, and then it didn't go well, so I could never go back. So I was back in the closet. You know, where are you, Philomena? I'm sorry. She lived in Jersey City, and she played the bass. Anyway.
You had a crush on your biology teacher, and you grew up in New York City. Where did you go to high school? What neighborhood?
I don't want to say where I went, but it was a science school in the Bronx.
Oh, very sneaky. For those of you out there, it's a very encrypted message.
They'll never get it.
No, where did you go to college?
Where went to Parsons School of Design.
And what was your major? I already know this, but
I did nothing major when I was there. But I majored in product design.
that's very cool. Did you sort of find your queerness a bit? And you didn't find it until after college.
Oh, no. Okay, this is a real messed up thing, but I did not have any activity of any kind that was sexual in all of college.
Wow.
And I really wanted it so badly all the time. And I would like beg my mom, because I'm from New York, so I was living at home, and I would beg my mom to let me live in the dorms. And it was only like $600 a month, which I thought was really cheap. But I like knowing now like how money works, I was like, well, yeah, no, that's like, I could live free, or, there's no reason to send me to like Union Square for $600 a month.
Right.
So I was like, but I really wanted that so I could like explore and like maybe have like sex.
When did you lose your virginity?
I lost it when I was 25.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I really did emerge from a convent.
He's like, I'm having none of that.
Yeah. I kept it way under the robe. God was okay with me.
May I ask, did you lose your virginity to a woman or
To a woman.
Oh.
I did, to a woman.
So you're fully realized, finding your womanhood, meeting a nice lady, and losing your virginity at the age of 25, a quarter of a century woman.
Oh, God.
I think that's actually very responsible, though, to sort of explore when you're a little bit more in tune with yourself.
Yeah. Thank you for making it seem okay.
I think it's totally okay. When you went to the coming out?
Went to this coming out group, and I was like really excited to be there. I was like maybe 21, and it took like so much effort to go to this group because I was so scared that somebody was going to see me, and I'm walking into this building on 14th Street, which is not that far from my school. And I was like, there's going to be people watching me going, hey, why did you go into that office building? Isn't that where the gay group is? Like they would know right away. Like this is where, like they would probably just think I was like going to an appointment. But like to me, the only thing going on there was the gay group meeting. Ooh. So there I am. I'm at this meeting, and I'm really excited to be there. And the leader of the group is very curmudgeonly. I'll put it that way. Mm-hmm. And her first thing out of her mouth was like, I want to get this out of the way. I think this is like, she thinks that this is her way of like being mature and putting things out there. She's like, just want to get this out of the way. I really resent lesbians for having younger lesbians because it's so much easier for them to come out now. And I was like, oh, lady, if you had any idea. And like, the thing is like, as an older lesbian, like, I'm in my 40s now. I am so fucking happy that people can come out when, like when they're kids.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's wrong. Like, like if you're aware of your sexuality and you're 8 years old and you can declare it, like, thank the Lord. Thank the Lord you can have those words.
Do you think I think it's partly because of the representation that we now on television.
Mm-hmm.
It sort of takes a lot of mystery out of things. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, like you're right. Like it's not this mysterious thing. You're not alone. You're not like, because I don't know if you had this when you were coming out. Like I felt like I was the only gay person.
Yeah. In my high school I did, but then I went to a fucking gay college.
Good for you.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, look at all these gay people. Now I get it. That's me.
Yeah.
That type of thing.
Oh, wow. That's great. Oh, I wish I could go back in time and go to school with you.
Yeah. I think we'd have fun together.
Yeah.
Oh, we would go to the clubs in D.C.
Yeah.
I went to school in D.C.
I remember when at Parsons, even though it was an art school, there were really not a lot of like outlets for gay people. And I remember like there was a gay club and they couldn't name themselves. So like you kept seeing advertisements like, this is the gay club. We don't know what we're called yet. And I remember I just went to like, and I was too scared to go, but I wanted to be like, you should call it the club that dare not name itself. That was my little proto-comedian joke.
That's so funny. I mean, to think about a New York City art school that didn't seem gay.
No, it was very straight. It was very professional. Like, they really just wanted you to get a job after school. Like, It wasn't about exploring who you are. It's like exploring companies.
That explains Tim Gunn.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he's gay, but he's just very professional and just very matter of fact and has an amazing vocabulary.
Mm-hmm. It's all about getting ahead.
Yeah. There we go.
Thank you.
So then I went back in the closet, didn't ever come out again, and I really did not know when I was going to ever come out. Like, I really, it was on my agenda, it was on my to-do list, couldn't find the time. Could not find the time. I started doing improv, closeted doing improv, you know, like improv, it's like so many rehearsals and classes, like you don't have time. And so I got a day job, I got a day job at Apple Computer. Oh, yeah. I was the receptionist of Santa Monica. Do you remember me? Anybody know? Anybody walk in? Anybody walk in? Need direction to the bathroom? That was me. And so I get this job at Apple, and like the thing is, this was like 1999, and like back then, not everybody had the internet. Like, they had it, but it was like AOL dial-up, but we had like the good internet. And I had nothing to do all day except look up gay websites. And I remember this woman was walking by one day. I don't know what site I was looking at, but she walked by and she's like, you know that they monitor your use. They know what you're looking at. Like, she was like conspiratorial. And I was like, oh, fuck, Steve Jobs knows I'm gay. This is crazy.
So I like how you talk about having the good internet at Apple. Like, they had premium internet at the time. So what websites were you going to sort of research lesbian topics?
Well, at the time, this is like when people had blogs,
Yeah.
And like, so I was reading a lot of people, like there was one woman who was like, these are my experiences as a lesbian who's like, starting a family with her girlfriend, like, and they're like having a child. It was really fascinating. There was this one site, I think it was from the Netherlands, called A Dyke's World. And remember, like, back, like, when the internet was like so new, like there wasn't Google,
right?
You didn't have a search engine, so it was like you'd have to find the right site, and then it would be like there would be a web ring. So I like would just click through the web ring.
This is like OG internet right here.
Super OG.
Yeah. And also just the linking was so important back then too.
Oh my God, yes.
And I mean, not just for SEO, but just for basic discovery. And then you had to build, digital marketing was like building relationships with other blogs in order to get more views.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a crazy concept.
Mind-blowing.
I know. But moving to LA, did you feel you had a certain amount of freedom that you didn't have when you were living in New York?
Yeah, I actually really moved to get away from my family. And to be gay. I really did. But I failed, and I'll tell you how. I moved to LA. I moved to West Hollywood, and I was
the gayest part of LA.
And I was living in a building filled with gay people. My roommate was straight, but everybody, like, she was like the only straight woman there. And I was still just too scared to come out of the closet. But I was really, so I think what I was doing was I was like picking up what I would do when I did come out. Like I was like living among them to learn their ways. And then I made another mistake. I did improv.
Oh.
And like that is the most straight thing you can do. It really wasn't very gay friendly. And I'm not saying that they're homophobic, but it wasn't like theater is queer, improv is not.
I feel like that's changing now with Michael Hartney now being the head of UCB. Kelsey Bailey, who's on the show, is an instructor there. So I feel like things have changed a little bit.
Oh, things have changed drastically.
Yeah.
I remember I was on an improv team, and somebody had heard that there was a gay person on my team. So they emailed another member of my team to be like, who's the gay person on your team? And my team member, Jessica, was like, she's like, Claudia, so-and-so emailed me to see who the gay person was on the team. And don't worry, I didn't tell her. And it was like, I'm out. Like, it's fine. But like her idea of doing me a favor as my friend, she was like, look, this is like a well-intentioned straight person thinks that like putting me back in the closet is like a good thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's intense.
And so this is the part of the story that gets kind of sad, because I did actually I did have a reason to come out, and it was a very urgent one. I had to actually move home. I'm from New York, and I was living in LA, and I got this call from my mom. They had found tumors in her ovaries, and so I now had to move back home to take care of my mom. And it was, ovarian cancer is like, they find it really late, so it's oftentimes very deadly. So we didn't know what was going to happen to my mom, and I was like, fuck, my mom she can't like die without me like telling her. She has to know who I am. So I was like, God, this is it, So we were watching TV one day. We were watching Oprah, to be exact. And I was like, fuck, I just gotta tell her. I didn't know how to do it, but I was like, Mom, I'm gay. And she was like, no. And I'm like, Mom, I'm gay. She's like, no. And I was like, no, Mom, I'm telling the truth. She's like, no, this is one of your bits. Because keep in time, I was doing comedy at the time. She was like, no. All right, funny lady. And I was like, no, I'm really telling the truth. And she was like, oh, okay. And then we just kept watching Oprah, and we didn't talk about it. And I was like, fuck, like, what's going to happen now? Like, is it just going to become a thing that we, like, never, ever discuss ever again? And it's all on me to just sort of figure it out and, like, just make peace with it. What do I do now that it's out there? And so we both went to bed that night, and then we woke up in the morning, and then she, like, I see her out in the hallway, and she's like, Claudia, I was up really late thinking about what you told me. She's like, you know what? You're a really good person, and society treats you like shit. I'm really mad on your behalf. And I was like, wow, that's a great response, Mom. Because I really, not a lot of people get that. And I don't know how to make that funny. I don't know how to make that funny. But this was also her second response was after she said that. She's like, and I was really kind of hoping you would marry a rich man. She really said that. I guess she was like thinking like, I just don't want my daughter to work. And like that was her dream for me, was to just like be a housewife. And I was like, Mom, that's work too in its own way. I don't know what that's like. And so eventually, and this is what I said to her. I was like, Mom, just campaign for gay marriage and I can have a sugar mama. I don't have one. The marriage equality is here, and I'm poor as dirt. So there you go. I have failed her. And so that is my time. Thank you so much, everyone.
I love that your mom thought. I mean, she saw enough of your humor that she thought that you coming out was a joke, which is kind of hilarious.
Yeah.
Were you telling it in a funny way, or was she just like thinking that's going to be some sort of bit you're going to do later?
I don't know how you would start off thinking that your daughter coming out to you is a bit when like she hasn't done anything that looked like dating for her whole life. And she like if you saw me at the time, you'd be like, oh, who's this baby dyke? Like I was so obvious. Like I wore a big wristwatch. That was like my thing.
Like grandpa's watch type of thing?
Yeah. I was like, I dressed like Kramer. I would prowl thrift shops to find like those Cuban men shirts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, come on, Mom.
So your mom was either in denial or she was queer blindness.
Yeah.
She had queer blindness. Got it.
Yeah. She's a lovely person, but sometimes doesn't pick up the signs. Yeah,
but I love her comment that you're a beautiful person and that you should be treated equally, which I thought was pretty nice. How did that make you feel when you heard that?
I really was astonished because, even if like my mom loves me and like I heard so many stories though about like people's parents reacting so poorly that I was like, like, I don't know if this is like where I find like the bad part of my mom. Like, you know, like you get so scared that like, you know, like this is like this great unknown with your parent. And of course they're going to have some kind of reaction. And for her to like dig up this like thing, this like, hey, but you're good. And everybody says you're bad. And like, I know that that's wrong. Like, that's like exactly what you want.
Yeah.
You know, I can't complain.
Oh man. And how is her health now?
She is, I guess, like it's been 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I think that I don't think she even gets monitored for it anymore. You know, like that, like she, like, not that they don't care about her health, but like, I think they're not worried that it's going to come back. So I'm going to knock a lot of wood on that, by the way. Yeah.
Cheers to Mama Cogan.
Yeah.
That's lovely. I loved hearing that. That made me smile in the audience, which I thought was so cute. And I love that your mom wanting you to be a rich housewife, which is hysterical. Does your mom see you do comedy a lot, or?
No, she doesn't. She doesn't like to go out, you know. She's only seen me couple of club shows I made her go to when I was first starting out. And then when I bombed on Last Comic Standing. In 2010. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for doing this podcast. You've been phenomenal. So thank you.
Thank you.
Do you want to know the 3 things?
Thanks for having me.
Oh my God, thanks for doing it. So what are the 3 things we learned about you today, Claudia? Number 1, you got a lot of flair for Blair Warner, which is pretty amazing.
I'm bewitched by her to this day.
Number 2, coming out of the closet late and finding your virginity at 25 years is not a bad thing either.
I could have done a little better, but okay.
And number 3, Mama Cogan is the best.
She really
we love
is.
Mama Cogan.
No, I have no doubt about that.
So thank you so much again. Thank you guys for listening to Closet Cases. And please follow us on Twitter at Closet Cases and on Facebook and Instagram at Closet Cases Show. And don't forget to subscribe to this podcast, rate, and comment. And also for future shows, go to closetcasesshow.com. And guys, as we always say, back then, it was a little bit dramatic, but isn't it hilarious now? Thank you so much, Claudia. Thank you so much.
I love being here. Thank you, Shawn. You're the greatest.
Yay!